In Fiji, every year, fish come together by the thousands for timeless rituals. As more Fijians than ever before are catching fish for food and money, these gatherings have become a crucial link between man and sea.
In Langi, we really like fish. We like to eat fish every day. Yeah, we really like fish.
In coastal villages across Fiji, people like Semi the cow depend on catching fish as one of their most important sources of food.
Firstly, when I wake up in the morning, I check up the tide. Mostly I go out fishing in the low tide. When I go out fishing, I peep under the big rocks and peep under the stone. I used to go down and shoot the fish under the stone. When they're near, you just shoot them. That's where I get the fish.
Traditionally, we were used to live subsistence way of life, whereby you'd fish for what is the need of that day, or maybe for the next day.
But today, people are increasingly fishing for cash.
Everything, the need for cash is just seemed to have doubled, tripled overnight.
Cash flow have become more important. So the takeover of our lives through the cash economy has sort of overrun our subsistence way of life of relying on the environment. We are starting to fish for more.
In the past time, you used to fish for mostly to eat, but now mostly we go out fishing for money.
On many islands, fishing is the only source of income.
Yeah, in my island, that's what we always do every day. The only source of income here is fishing. Before the sun rises, they go out fishing. They catch the fish. They come back in the afternoon, they sell the fish, whatever they sell, they can buy what they need.
This type of fish, if this one is 2 kg, that means $5.
To earn the quick money offered by catching fish, more of Fiji's rising population is fishing than ever before.
Before, it was only about 20 households was here before. And now it's more than 50. So the population are increasing. So every household, they are going out fishing.
With more people catching fish for money, fishing has become a modernized and expanding $500 million Fijian business. Fish buyers are using boats, trucks, and freezers to get more fish. Buyers are purchasing as many fish as fishermen can catch. To keep up with increasing demand, fishermen are finding ways to catch more fish. Better engines and boats allow fishermen to fish where they never could before.
Before, there was no punt here, no engine, no boat. But nowadays, the engines are going in and out, days and night.
One particularly lucrative but harmful practice is catching certain fish when they gather in large groups to reproduce. These groupings are called spawning aggregations.
What Fijians normally refer to as watuni ika. These are the spots where people know constantly where the species breed.
With more fishermen relying on this way of catching fish, understanding how these aggregations allow fish to reproduce is critical. Dr. Yvonne Sadovi of the Society for the Conservation of Reef Fish Aggregations has studied and raised awareness of spawning aggregations in Fiji and around the world.
So this one do you catch in large numbers? What about this one?
Spawning aggregations are very important, both for the fish themselves and also for the fisheries that depend on those fish. For the fish, as far as we know, many species only reproduce in these big groupings.
In Fiji, important fish such as the kawakawa, grouper, mbatesai, coral trout, drindri, surgeonfish, nunga, rabbitfish, and kanade, mullets, all reproduce in spawning aggregations. Every year, at predictable times of the month between July and December, fish leave their homes on the reef. Fish may travel tens to hundreds of kilometers to specific areas of the inner or outer reefs where they gather to reproduce. At these sites, the male kawakawa are particularly aggressive. They fight for territories that give them the best chance to reproduce, one male with one female. A very different type of fish, the drindri or surgeonfish, reproduce in large groups. When the tide changes, the reproductive ritual of the drindri begins. Several males and a single female rush together to the surface. In an instant, they release their eggs and sperm in small white clouds before diving back down to the safety of the reef. These aggregations produce millions and millions of fertilized eggs that hatch into larvae, which drift or swim on ocean currents for 4 to 6 weeks before settling inshore. Here, they grow and mature into small fish before moving out to the reef to start the cycle of life once more. Traditionally, Fishermen have used knowledge of when and where fish migrate and breed to catch fish at spawning aggregations.
When I grew up in the village, for instance, we witnessed fish aggregates regularly.
But now, to meet the need for cash, more of Fiji's rising population is fishing spawning aggregations with greater intensity and on a larger scale than ever before.
The concern is that aggregations are very easy to find because they form at particular times and predictable places. They are, for most species, or for many species, the only times that reproduction occurs. And once they're found, they're very easy to target.
When we meet a group of fish like kaukaua, this year, again next year, we'll go out again to that place.
So the short term, there's a fantastic benefit. Easy to catch fish, you can catch fish in great numbers, and fishermen can make a lot of money.
The money made from fishing aggregations is tremendous. It can account for up to 2/3 of a fisherman's income for an entire year.
But as that commercialization has increased and somewhat accelerated, it's produced a situation where too many fish are being taken too quickly. And in quite a number of cases we've found or recorded that they've disappeared completely.
The consequences of aggregations disappearing are severe. Without aggregations, the fish will no longer be able to reproduce. If there is no reproduction, this fish will decline and disappear from the sea.
In areas that you've got a lot of fishermen commercially fishing spawning aggregations, there's been 20 to 30-fold decline in the harvest volume, from between 20 to 30 metric tons to only 2 to 3 tons for the major sites like Vanuatu and even in the Lao group.
So if spawning aggregations disappear completely, then the populations of fish that depended on them will not continue, and the fisheries of that species will not continue.
Across Fiji, fish are declining. Without healthy fish populations, many villagers will no longer be able to depend on the sea. Families will be forced to move away to look for new sources of income.
It's really a bit very difficult for us, our people from our island. Some of us now are leaving the island to go to the mainland, but it's not our life from what our fathers used to do before.
With fishermen finding less fish, what is the future of fishing in Fiji? There is hope. Fiji's reefs and fisheries can still be saved.
In Fiji, in many places, the fisheries seem to be, even though declines have been noted, seem to be in very good condition.
Many of the reefs and ocean systems that support Fiji's fisheries are still healthy enough that if communities and government leaders recognize and solve the current problems, the fisheries can be restored. The strength of Fiji's communities also provides hope. Their traditional systems have allowed them to make decisions and successfully manage their own environments for thousands of years.
We are fortunate we have a communal system whereby we have joint ownership, joint rights to property.
Throughout the country, the traditional system of communal ownership of local inshore areas of the sea, called ngoli-ngolis, allow communities to make decisions that directly affect their natural resources.
It makes things work because the whole community puts its shoulder behind it, behind whatever decision is made.
In order to make the best decisions for the Ngolingolis, communities have begun discussions about the importance of aggregations with scientists and fisheries officers.
The importance of conserving them, reef fish aggregations, it really fits well to their natural setting and a natural cultural system. And then our work now is just to go out and inform traditional decision makers. This is the way to go if you want to maintain sustainable fisheries.
So if there are too many fish taken out, when they come to reproduce, then they won't reproduce, and then there won't be fish in the future.
We can agree, it is agreeable with us to have a reserved places for fish to spawn and to aggregate.
We have to have regulations. We have to have